Subscribe to the William Pace Show YouTube channel. Be sure to click the bell and give us the thumbs up. Thank you.
The William Pace Show through the years has been a beacon of light in the Midwest, taking you to such destinations as the Navy Pier, the Palmer Hilton Palace Hotel, the German Village, the Showboat Majestic Theatre, the Ohio Village, and the Krohn Conservatory. There's always something cooking in the kitchen on the William Pace Show. Some of the biggest stars, entertainers, and political figures like B.B. King, Jimmy Walker, Bob Carlisle, Patti Austin, Mr. T, Whitley Phibbs, and Congressman Tony Hall have appeared on the William Pace Show. Now, without further ado, we proudly present the William Pace Show on CATV, coming to you from the heart of the Midwest. The William Pace Show, asking the questions you want to ask, getting the answers everyone wants to know. It's a new season of the William Pace Show. We're raising the bar with more commitment to educate, inform, encourage, inspire, empower, and help you have your best life. Everyone deserves to have their best life. I'm just staying the course. Here we go.
Hello, I'm William Pace. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. My special guest tonight is Jenny Bayer, lead actress for the Showboat Majestic Theatre in Cincinnati. As you know, we always start the show out by reading letters from the viewers, and I love this part of the show.
To write to the William Pace Show, email us at williampaceshow@aol.com. If your email is chosen to be read on the air, you'll receive a gift from the William Pace Show. Email us at williampaceshow@aol.com.
Tonight's letter comes from a Sally Jones of Yellow Springs. She says, "Dear William, there is something special about you and your show. Your show is the shining light in Dayton. I just love the celebrity segment interviews. You are really a blessing to the entire community. A devoted fan, Sally Jones." Well, thank you so much for writing, Sally, and we're going to send you a gift certificate to No Common Sense in Yellow Springs. There's more to come on the William Pace Show. Stay with us.
With my high Scotch collar and my high top shoes and my hair, my lion on my head, I went to visit the Dolly out on the trolley and lost my horse's head. With his white brown furry and his bright green tie, he was white and the red. I started to yes, so I counted ten, then I counted 10 again.
Hello, I'm William Pace. Thanks so much for tuning us in tonight. My guest tonight, my special guest tonight, is Jenny Bayer. She's a lead actress with the Showboat Majestic Theatre in Cincinnati. Thank you so much for coming up to Dayton.
Thank you for having me.
I went to see Meet Me in St. Louis, and I really enjoyed your performance.
Well, thank you. I think it's the most favorite role I've ever played. I've always been a fan of Judy Garland, and to have a chance to portray one of her most famous roles was very exciting. It was a lot of fun.
What do you like about the part of in Meet Me in St. Louis?
I like Esther because she's not the typical ingenue. She's not just, the sappy sing-a-love song. She's got a lot of spunk to her. She's got a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of there was a variation of emotions, and as an actor, it was great to be able to research that part and perform Esther.
One of my favorite moments in the show is when you were singing the song about the boy next door, and there are several songs in the show that are really nice. But which is your favorite?
Actually, I think The Boy Next Door probably was my favorite. It really tells the story of, you know, a young girl and her first crush, and it was very easy to relate to, and, you know, it was just kind of, I really felt like I got to act through that song. Sometimes you feel like you're just singing the words, but that was my favorite song in the show. That was my favorite moment in the show.
It's an expressive song,
It
you know,
is.
because it has starts out real low and then it sort of builds and so forth. And it's I think it's in 3/4 time. It's
Yes.
a waltz too,
Yes.
but it's a real slow waltz. You know,
It's very
like
dreamy. She's daydreaming, and it starts out very hopeful, and you know, she's just dreaming of this boy next door. And towards the end of the song, she kind of realizes that it's probably not going to happen, and you know, she kind of gets a little bit more melancholy about it. But there's always that hope that, you know, someday they might bump into each other, which is actually pretty much what happens.
And you know, there's so many popular tunes from that show. Meet Me in St. Louis, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, Clang, Clang, Clang with the Trolley. Was that a difficult song for you to sing, Clang, Clang with the Trolley?
The trolley song was a challenge. Mostly because I was singing against, you know, 20 other people on this huge trolley, and it was a big dance number, a big production number, but it was so much fun, and the audience really, you could really tell that they appreciated that number. It's not only for the fact that we created this huge trolley number on such a small stage, but because of the energy of the entire cast. There's moments in the show where you could feel the energy coming from, you know, your fellow cast members, and that was one of them. Ending this first act with that number, you came off stage and
A
it was
showstopper.
just exactly.
Tell me a little bit about the costumes, because they're sort of unique in that period of time.
The costumes were wonderful. It was like playing dress up. I couldn't wait to change into my, I think I had 7 costume changes, and each
7?
one, yes, and each one was better than the next. Isaac Turner, who played Warren in the show, also designed all of the costumes, and he did a fabulous job. It was wonderful.
So, did he design from scratch everything? Pretty
much.
Did he make the costumes?
Most of the costumes he created from scratch.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
The ball gowns, especially, were all from scratch.
Did you get a chance to keep any of the?
I didn't get to keep anything. I got to keep the wig.
Oh,
But the
let's
hair.
talk about that wig, because what you were wearing was like a long hair wig.
It was a long hair wig. I spent about 20 minutes in preparation getting the pin curls in, getting all my regular hair up into the wig. And then for the first act, it was down long to create kind of the youthful look. And then as we moved into the holidays, it was put up at intermission. It was put up into like a Gibson Girl type twist. So it was pretty heavy too. It was, you know, a challenge sometimes to keep the balance with the hair, but it was fun.
Now, was Esther a part that was easy for you to get into? Did you have to really think about the role a lot?
It was very easy. I think I have a lot in common with Esther, and I think I've played a lot of ingenue roles. But as I get older, it's easier for me to relate to remember what, you know. I have a little bit more experience, you know, to play the younger roles, and it made it a lot more exciting. I think I have a lot in common with her as far as, you know, the falling in love, and she was kind of the lead sister in the family. She kind of took charge, and I have 3 younger brothers, so I was kind of always the one, you know, taking charge, and so I think I have a lot in common with Esther.
You're sort of like the reigning principal artist there, the reigning diva at the Showboat.
I've been at the Showboat for 8 years.
8 seasons.
8 seasons.
So tell me, what do you like about performing in that setting? Is there something
I really
magical?
love the historical aspect. To know that a family lived on the Showboat and you know created the magic that happens there. Performing on the river is such a neat experience to come off the boat and be right there in the middle of And one of the most charming things about the Showboat is that one of my favorite memories is that during Cinderella, during a dress rehearsal of Cinderella show we did a couple years ago, there's a wedding scene at the end when Cinderella and the prince get married, and of course Riverfront Stadium, Synergy Field, is right next door to us, and right at the moment where Cinderella and the prince got married, someone hit a home run, and so we had fireworks. We had fireworks on cue, and they don't always happen on cue, but that was one of the one of the most charming memories of my work at the Showboat.
Tell me, in the 8 years that you've been with the Showboat, how many roles have you done for them?
Gosh, this is actually my 20th show.
20th
yes,
show?
Anything Goes that I'm working on right now is my 20th show. So I would probably say, 17 principal roles and probably 3 chorus roles.
So it's pretty accurate to say that you're a lead principal artist with the Showboat
I've worked, worked hard to get there, and it's a lot of fun. I appreciate all of the opportunities that they've given me over the years.
I want to talk a little bit about your singing. Did you study music like in school or at the conservatory?
Actually, it started with my family. My family is very musical. My dad was always in a band, and so I kind of grew up singing. It was just something that I always did. And I did start taking voice lessons in high school and was involved with the choir and studied music for a while in college. And I do teach some voice lessons now, but it was just kind of something that's always been a part of me. It was my family would always at holidays would sit around the piano or get out the guitars and sing with my my aunts and uncles and my cousins. So it's always been a part of me.
So you're basically a lyric soprano then?
Actually, I've kind of gone through some changes. I started out as a coloratura soprano, which is, the highest soprano, and then eventually once I got into college and started doing more musical theater, I found my belt voice. So now I kind of have a little bit of a range.
We'll be back with more conversation with Jenny Bear. Stay with us. Hello, I'm William Pace, and we're back talking with Jenny Bear, who is a lead principal artist with the Showboat Majestic Theatre in Cincinnati. Before we went to break, we were talking about your singing, and you said you started out as a coloratura soprano, a real high soprano. What repertoire did you do? What songs did you do?
Voy que sapete was one that I competed with a lot. C'est tu mami was another one.
Did you do that one from Candide, the real high one with the soprano glitter?
No,
you never did that one?
Never attempted that one. I always enjoyed singing the Broadway, the musical theater, so I always fought with my voice teacher to let me do some of that instead.
What do your folks say about your talent? Did they come to see you at the Showboat?
They did. In fact, probably Meet Me in St. Louis, I got the most compliments. My parents are my worst critic. They'll be the first ones to tell me, well, you could have done this, or But Meet Me in St. Louis was actually, they were very impressed with that, so I was very happy.
Do you aspire to go on and do more bigger things, like nationally?
Actually,
regionally?
I've always had the dream to teach. I teach dancing, and so that's another thing I love about the Showboat is that I'm able to keep a full-time job and still, share my love for performing. So I my dream was always to teach.
Let's talk about your dance studio. You have how many students? 350?
I have 350 students. We're just starting out. It's called
Wow.
Spotlight Dance Center in Cincinnati, Ohio. And
Wow.
I used to teach in an after-school program, St. Ignatius dance class, and I had about 200 students there. And so a lot of my students followed me from there. But it'll actually be a complete performing arts studio. We'll do drama lessons and piano lessons and voice lessons. And one of the unique things about my dancers is that they acquire a lot of a theater background because all of my teachers are involved in the theater. So they're not just learning how to dance, they're learning how to perform.
So you're somewhat of an entrepreneur, a businesswoman.
Yes, a businesswoman. I'm learning how to be, that's for sure.
A businesswoman. So the 350 people, do they come within what period of time? In a month's time or a week's time?
A week.
Within a week's
We're
time?
open 5 days a week, Monday through Thursday,
Wow.
and then a couple hours on Saturday, and they're all within a week.
So you started this from scratch then?
Yes.
Wow, wow. So what is your vision of your dance studio going on to do? You plan to build a building, to put on productions in the dance studio?
Eventually, that would be wonderful. Because of my theater background, also, I would love to build a theater and be able to do a little bit of everything. My main focus right now, I have some competition teams. My junior team, which is made up of 8 to 12-year-olds, actually just won first place in a competition that we went to in July. We've performed in the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, and we're performing in Disney World next summer. So the dance team, the competitive team, is my main focus right now.
Great, great. What would you say in the 20 roles that you've performed at the Showboat Majestic Theatre, do you have one particular role that has stayed with you?
Actually, until this year, it probably would have been Cassie in A Chorus Line. I played that role when I was 19 years old, and she's 30-something, and it was really a challenge. When they offered the role to me, I kind of thought they were joking because I really thought, wow, how am I going to do this? And that was because it was such a challenge. It was a very interesting role, and that was probably my favorite up until this year. And now I would say that Esther is definitely my favorite role. Yes.
Your favorite. Are there moments when you're on stage, when the audience is right with you every word of the way, and are there moments when they're not with you and you have to work a little bit harder, and what do you do in those times?
I believe that the Showboat audience is there to see young people have a good time. That's their main goal, is to just see people love to do what they do. And I think there were moments in Meet Me in St. Louis, such as Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas, where the audience was singing along, and they were so into the moment that they were actually singing with me. And there are other moments where it's very difficult, and I think you just have to prove that you're doing it because you love it. And as long as you're performing in a genuine way, the audience is going to be right there with you. They'll be able to know if you're just faking your way through it, or if you really love doing what you do.
Now, I want to talk to you about one thing that many actors experience on the Showboat, that sometimes things sort of move on the Showboat. Is that true? I heard that some things sort of just rearrange themselves, get pushed to the side.
Yes, well,
is it the water that sort of rocks the boat?
Yes, we have barges that go by, periodically, and it's not too bad. You get used to it when you're on the stage, but a lot of times we'll build platforms that are a little bit higher, or we'll stand on a stool or another sort of prop, and the higher you are on the Showboat stage, the more you feel it. So we may be in a freeze, at the end of a number, and the whole stage will just start, all the performers will start rocking, but you get used to it after a while.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Believe it or not, you get used to it.
Okay. I can't let you leave without a box of Esther Price Fine Chocolates. It's Dayton's best. And we also have a rose here for you from Lines by Louise Flores.
Well, thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
There's more to come on The William Pace Show. Stay with us.
though I exist, no matter how I make mistakes, though it seems to be there's no hope for me, so I live at 5135 and happy, and he lives at 5133. How can I ignore the boy next door? I love him more than I can say. Try to please me, doesn't even tease me, and he never sees me that way. And so I want more the boy next door, affection for him I just adore him, so I can't ignore him. The boy next door. Someday soon he'll be rolling by, so dressed up and knowing why. He'll happen to see me, I'll happen to smile. He'll feel nearer and nearer still, till we soak in a sudden chill.